we are joined this morning by the current, but not for long, the superintendent of the White Pine County Schools, Adam Young. And I have not referred to you properly as Dr. Adam Young.
Adam is just fine.
But I have to tell you that the fact that I have spaced the fact, and I saw you getting your stuff, and I never connected that the proper thing to do is mention it. And I should mention it because you did a lot of hard work for that, and it's greatly appreciated. And the sad part is now you're going to leave us.
Well, it was a lot of hard work. I really did it for me. That's been a goal of mine throughout my entire career to formalize that continued learning. And certainly as the leader of an institution of learning, I felt like it was appropriate to go ahead and do that. And I enjoyed every moment of it. And yes, it's true, I will be retiring, but not for another 11 months, basically. Yeah. So I got a lot of time left, lots of stuff left to do.
And you have a lot to do. And let's be honest here, between you and the people that you've worked with at the district, and I know you will allow me to make that qualification because you had a lot of help getting this done, the eventual, hopefully, replacement of David E. Norman in the middle school with a new school. The whole Heritage Park project, if we can get the county commission off the stick on that would absolutely benefit the softball and baseball programs and so many things. And in general, just, help the health of the community. And you have worked hard on that. And the school district has worked hard to support that. And that is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I think I've heard here and there, make sure everybody stays in their lane, focus on the learning of students in the classroom. And of course, as a school district, that is our primary mission. And where I spend the bulk of my time and of course my staff as well. But the school district is a part of the community. It represents the community, and the health and wellness of our community is represented in our schools. And so I look at it like this, that the healthier and more vibrant our community is, then the healthier and more vibrant our schools are. And it's a symbiotic relationship where the health and well-being of those entities play into each other. So, yeah, we have a responsibility to support the well-being of the entire community, and I think these projects do that.
And the healthy minds, healthy hearts, healthy bodies, those are interconnected. It's hard to have one without the other.
100%. We see this in our schools every day, and I want to mention this. Our schools are all eligible under the Department of Agriculture's community eligible provision for nutrition, which means every student in our school district eats for no cost to the family if they desire to. So both breakfast and lunch. Nutrition, just like you said, Wyatt, is a part of well-being. Kids cannot learn if they're hungry. They also need to exercise. This goes to the Heritage Park concept. As our community is active and engaged in physical activity and has opportunities to be out and be healthy, absolutely it plays into to learning and just having a robust community where there's lots of opportunities for people.
I remember growing up with all of the stress on the President's Council for Physical Fitness, and I actually got one. You can't trust it by looking at me today. I got one of those certificates. But it has to also kind of make you feel good to see that there may be a growing emphasis on that again with the President reinstating that council.
I think anything that encourages people to understand how that wellness contributes to their overall well-being is helpful. So yeah, I think this is something that's positive, that sends a pretty clear message to people in our country, in our state, in our community, that it is better to be up and active and doing and moving than sitting in front of a screen and glued to it all the time.
Absolutely, that is. And I wish I could get up more. But unfortunately, yesterday I spent 5 hours sitting in front of a screen with this county commission meeting. But that's beside the point. You were there in person. I feel more sorry for you. At least here I was able to curse at them through the screen and when they said something stupid. But and it had to be special to you watching your youngsters, your students, get involved in this project. I mean, that has got to be a great feeling, realizing that not only are they getting their education from books, but they're getting it by realizing that you've got to get involved in community.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Our vision is to collaboratively grow leaders who will change the world. So we view every one of our students as a leader in some way, shape, or form. So not only was I thrilled that we had students at that meeting yesterday to speak their mind, but I also want to bring up that we had students at the legislative session back in March when Assembly Bill 224 was introduced to the Government Affairs Committee. They wrote their essays, they did their research, and 3 of those students and their families made the trip to Carson City with us to testify to the legislators about the importance of that bill for our community. So extremely proud of students who make those choices.
That's a great thing. You brought up Assembly Bill 224. It has now been signed by the governor. Now, what are the next steps that we're looking at to get through this, to get the revenue and to get everything done?
The team at the district, led by, of course, recently retired Paul Johnson, and then his successor Terrell Trask, have been working on the application for these funds. That application is complete. It was reviewed and approved by the Board of Trustees at last week's meeting, and it'll be submitted at 12:01 a.m. on August 15th, which is when the application's open.
And getting it in their first day, try to get ahead of the rush, which I think there may be only 1 or 2 other districts who might even qualify.
Yeah, as far as I know, we're the only district submitting an application. Districts with counties with a population of 15,000 or fewer can apply, but their schools do have to meet certain qualifications of basically it's so expensive to renovate the school that you might as well replace it, which that's the situation ours are in.
Do we have any idea what might eventually happen to David E. Norman and the middle school?
It's a great question, and one that we don't feel comfortable making without significant community input. So kind of in the order of operations, we see that this application is submitted. Hopefully the funds are all awarded to us. We engage the architect. We select a site for the new school. And once all of that's underway, then we'll also begin a process of community input to determine what the best use of those spaces is. Because, again, being good community partners, we certainly don't want there to be eyesores or to be unmanned buildings and things like that. So we'll get a lot of input before we decide.
So, when June comes around, what's next?
I don't entirely know. I started my career pretty early and have loved every minute of it. I really have. I feel so blessed. So I'm not going to rush into anything. I'll have some options probably. I might take a gap year. That's the thing nowadays for kids that are in their 20s. I think it's okay for people in their 50s too, so I might do that.
Why not? Adam Young, Dr. Adam Young, the administrator, the superintendent of the White Pine County School District. Always a pleasure to have you in, and especially when we can talk about good news. That's always a good thing, and Godspeed on your journey. Hopefully we'll talk again before you step out the door.
Great to talk to you, Wyatt. I really appreciate you and everything that you do for our community.
Appreciate it.